Good morning. Well, thank you very much for coming. The 27th of June will be a date to remember in the history of Georgia and the European Union. We signed today an association agreement which will start a qualitatively new process in our relations. It will also serve as a strong incentive for further development of Georgian state aimed at ensuring a better future for our people. Georgia's European integration process is irreversible, and the association agreement represents a master plan for the Europeanization of our country. The gradual introduction of the EU norms and standards will bring about a level political association and economic integration that will firmly anchor the country to the European family, European future. And also by rising to meet European political, economic, social and legislative standards will bring prosperity, welfare and stability to our country and people. Of course, we attach particular importance to the deep and comprehensive free trade agreement, which is an integral part of the agreement. And through the mentioned DCFTA, Georgian products and services will have access to the world's biggest market without tariffs and quotas. And all above will further improve the business and investment environment in Georgia and ultimately lead to more investments, new jobs, improved social welfare. It will further enhance our country's competitiveness and increase exports. By successful implementation of the association agreement and through consistent policies, we aim to fully exploit the opportunities and benefits opened by the agreement to all layers of society. And it should be underlined that this agreement applies to the entire territory of Georgia within its internationally recognized borders. And we are willing and ready to extend the benefits and opportunities envisaged by this agreement to all our citizens of Abkhazia and South Ossetia, Tskhina region. Shortly, the provisional application of the association agreement will start, and we will embark on a lengthy process of implementation of reforms which cover almost all areas of political, economic and social life of Georgia. And to this end, an association agenda has already been agreed with the European Union, putting in place the major instrument for the implementation of this agreement, and setting priorities for the period of 2014 and 2016. In addition, the Georgian Parliament has already pledged to ratify this association agreement as soon as possible, and we are ready to further intensify reforms efforts. But let me stress again that we are not alone in this complex process. We are encouraged by the EU's firm political support to Georgia and its commitment to further continued provision of financial and technical assistance based on the more for more principle. Another top priority on the EU-Georgia cooperation agenda is the perspective of visa-free travel on the EU-Georgia, and therefore progress in this area is of particular importance for us, as a visa-free regime will bring very tangible benefits for our citizens. Furthermore, enhanced mobility will contribute to deepening people-to-people contacts and strengthening ties in business, for example, as well as in the fields of culture, education, and science. And in this regard, I would like to emphasize the successful EU-Georgia visa dialogue. We have already achieved significant progress in the implementation of the visa liberalization action plan, and currently all requirements of the first phase related to the establishment of the legislative policy and institutional framework have been met. And we hope that based on this progress, the European Commission will timely decide to move Georgia to the next phase, the second phase of the action plan. For our part, we are committed to intensifying our efforts to implement all the priorities envisaged by this action plan, and in this regard we rely on the EU's active support to make visa-free travel for Georgian citizens a reality. The success of our endeavors to achieve our common goals largely depends on the situation as regards security and stability in the region. And in this context, let me reiterate once again our appreciation for the EU's firm support for Georgia's territorial integrity and within its internationally recognized borders. Its strong political support, among others, through its active participation in the Geneva international discussions, the EU monitoring mission, and the EU Special Representative for the South Caucasus and crisis in Georgia. And while being a beneficiary of the EU security arrangements through the EU monitoring mission, we are also proud to also contribute to the Union's efforts under the Common Security and Defense Policy to build peace and security worldwide. Today, Georgian soldiers are part of the EU mission in Central African Republic. And to conclude, please allow me to return to my key point that Georgia is an integral part of a European civilization that is primarily determined by our common values. And the association agreement provides a very strong basis to make the European dream of our country come true. The signature of the association agreement is not our final goal, by the way. It is only the beginning of the interesting and demanding path towards the European Union. And we are ready to walk this path and build our future with the European Union as part of our common European family of democratic and free nations. Thank you very much for your attention. Please, you have any questions?
Yes, Gary Gotov, you're active. Prime Minister, in your statement during the signature of the association agreement, you said that your country wants EU membership. You realize that the European Union hasn't appetite for EU membership as we speak. When do you expect that the doors of the European Union will be able to open for Georgia?
Well, I think the doors are already opened for Georgia, because this is today's event is a clear demonstration that the doors of the European Union is opened for Georgia. Today we signed the association agreement, and as I mentioned in my statement, it is a master plan of our country's Europeanization, and it is a master plan of our country's modernization. Therefore, I think it depends on the reforms, and we're fully committed to implement all these reforms in order to meet with the European norms and standards. Therefore, I think it depends on Georgia how quickly we will succeed and how quickly we will implement all these reforms in order to meet with the European requirements. Thank you. Please.
You can ask. I can give the first. It's okay.
Thanks. In your estimation, how long should it take for Georgia to become full member of European Union?
As I mentioned, it depends. It depends on us. We can say in 5 years, maybe 10 years, so we never know. So it depends on the progress that Georgia will make. Well, once again, I want to make it very clear that we are fully committed to implement all the reforms in order to meet with the European requirements. Thank you.
Georgian TV Maestro, Sophie Zurabiani. Thank you, Prime Minister, and congratulations with this day. And the first question about occupied territories of Georgia. You mentioned that you've sent a signal to them living in South Ossetia and Abkhazia, in Tskhinvalis region in Abkhazia. But EU's document says that after implementation on whole territory of Georgia will be gates for them also from this association agreement. But how can you imagine to implement this document on whole territory of Georgia? Or is a signal for them and decision up to them? Thank you.
Thank you. So once again, when it comes to the occupied regions, occupied territories of our country, Abkhazia and South Ossetia, I think I've made it very clear when I sent clear messages to our brothers and sisters, Abkhazians and Ossetians, that the doors are opened, and therefore they will have the opportunity to get the benefits from the association agreement. And as I mentioned, such as visa-free travel regime with the European Union, or such as the DCFTA, free trade with the European Union, and or educational programs, and many more. But I think it is a clear signal to our brothers, Abkhazians and Ossetians, that it opens up tremendous opportunities for them as well. And we would like to share this process with them. Thank you. Please.
Camille Cerise-Gesson, Agence Europe. Yesterday, Prime Minister of Moldova said he would like to apply for the EU next year, at the end of next year. So, do you know already, or when do you want to apply officially for the EU membership? Thanks.
Well, unofficially, we applied for the membership today. Officially, it depends. Officially, we will see. It depends on the progress that we will make. But I can guarantee you that we will do our best in order to meet all the requirements of the European Union. Thank you. Please.
Dear Mr. Prime Minister, you know already in European Union is always, since 2 years ago, a question about austerity and growth. Your people are knowing that it is supposed to do everything in order to be competitive, in order to go on the European market, and also for your people to have a good life standard. What is, in your opinion, it is better to do austerity or to do growth? What is a balance in this act?
Prosperity and growth?
Prosperity is also means growth, it means investments, and austerity it means first to do, how say, some reduction in money giving and so on, in order to do better for the economy, to do the very good competitive way. I'm not exactly that. Maybe you didn't understand me.
No, I did understand.
The same question. Sorry. Okay.
Please go ahead.
I want to say I posed the same question 2 years ago in summer 2012 to Mr. Schulz, and I say what we need to do first: austerity, and after that growth, or balance, or. Well, I think in order to do this, the people is coming to a good end. Thank you.
I think we don't have time in order to wait for the first and second. I think we have to do everything at the same time. So we have to do parallelly everything in order to meet all the requirements of EU, and also, as I mentioned in my speech, I'm confident that soon Georgia will become a member of the big European family. Thank you. Thank you very much indeed.